Oh, throwing up is drunk. Man, I hate throwing up so much. Okay, I gotta tell you guys. I worked at a store. I worked as a cashier once, right? For 6 years, 6 or 7 years. I hated it. It made me hate people even more. But I worked in a store. I worked at a counter in retail, right? So we had a Christmas party, and it was very close to where I lived. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go ham. I'm gonna eat and drink as much as I can because they're paying for it, right? Well, it turns out all the food was like the really cheap brand from that store. Like all the food was the cheapest brand from that store. And the wine was like the cheapest kind of wine imaginable. And this was during Christmas holidays. So there was a lot of julmust, which is this beer-like soda. It has slightly beer flavor, but it's very sweet. I love it. So I ended up mixing julmust and wine in a big cup, right? And as time went on, the amount of wine to the amount of julmust shifted distinctly to be mostly red wine. And I was drinking them out of these massive cups. So I was so drunk. I was so drunk walking home. I don't even remember getting into my apartment. But I do remember being so unstable and so like shook up that I was holding onto the toilet seat, and I had a plastic seat onto the toilet seat, and I was just shaking back and forth so much that the seat was like going on. So I just tore off the plastic seat and threw it into the hallway just to grip the porcelain, which was more stable. And I just threw up all over the floor and all over the toilet in the bathroom. And then somehow I got into the shower and knocked myself out in the shower. And I was in the shower for 6 or 7 hours while the water was running. And I had like a little cut on my forehead. I think I might have fallen over. And my friend was coming over to paint minis that morning. So he woke me up. Him knocking on my door woke me up when I was lying in the shower with throw up everywhere and and water everywhere. And I was trying to paint my undead, I was playing Vampire Counts, trying to paint skeletons, and I was shaking so much. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm sorry. I'm so bad. Like I'm certain that I got alcohol poisoning or something, because it was an absolute nightmare. And I was like, I'm never gonna drink again. And then obviously I drank again later on. So, you know. But oh, that was so painful. Definitely top 3 worst times I've gotten drunk. The worst time is my first time I got really drunk during New Year's. And I lose all my motor functions when I'm drunk, right? I become very heavy-handed. So I accidentally crushed a beer glass, right? Average, I'll never drink again moment. Exactly. I crushed a beer glass, and I was so drunk at that point that I poured the glass into another glass. I was like, nobody drink from this glass, okay? Because there's a bunch of crushed glass in this glass. And everyone was like, okay. And then less than half an hour later, I was pouring beer into that glass, and I drank from that glass, and I was like, huh, what's in my mouth? This is weird. This is hard and weird. So I started taking out like huge shards of broken glass from my mouth, and I didn't cut myself. Not a single cut. And I was like, ho, isn't that silly? And then the day after, when I realized what I'd done, I was like, oh my god, I'm never drinking again. I was never drunk again. But now I don't drink because I take medicine that should not be combined with alcohol. It's very good. But that was absolutely a cuckoo ... moment, because I could have died. I could have absolutely died. Like, if I downed any of that broken glass, ooh, that would not have been good. That would not have been good. So don't do that.
Quiero, 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 quiero.